Hi y'all, freeze cracked. I don't have no idea why I grabbed this rock. This rock is a very, very bad rock. And no, I have no idea. I think I'll... I probably regret messing with this rock, but... I'm trying to not hinge it hard into there. I'm just raising it and flattening it down there. This is kind of along the lines of that concept of get weight off the ends. You just tapped it. Just to end it all in there. Look, I'm making blades. Blade core. Paleo. It's Clovis. There's no way that those overshots were intentional in Clovis. Nobody can stop flakes where they want to, and they break everything they hit if they try to overshoot. You know, the truth of that, as I believe it to be, is if you don't know how to take blades, did you see those last 3 or 4? Hang on. If you don't know how to do blades, and you don't know how to do overshots without a lot of, actually, is that from an earlier one? Where'd they go? Oh. If you don't know how to do that, you can't successfully even work a lot of materials and really big stuff, and because you have to, with hard material, hard raw material, you have to learn to swing for the fences. You must, because if you're trying to biface something that's large, say you want to make Clovis platters, you know, if you want to do something large, you need to be able to hit flat. You need to understand support and be able to hit flat. If you know how to hit flat anytime you want to, then an overshot is never an issue because they don't wrap and take off the edge a bunch. Look how thin that is. You know, whatever threat some people feel from them just doesn't exist if you know what you're doing. Now, granted, understanding it may be, for some people, if not all people, not intuitive, and there may have been a lot of old boys, and there were, at every age, that did not master the concepts of what they were attempting to do. But that doesn't mean what they were attempting to do wasn't a good idea. It just means they didn't know how to execute it. There's a huge difference. You can't make an argument that a technique is invalid and doesn't exist because based on people's inexpert application of it. Because if you do anything wrong, it isn't going to work well. So you got to be able to put approximately the right amount of power into stuff to stop it. But these concepts too apply to not just making blades or Clovis platters or anything like that. It's, man, I ought to get a different rock and keep this one. This one got some great material in it. Works better if I'm not talking. What was I going to say? I don't know what I'm going to say. Hey! See what this does. Gee, look, an overshot, and it didn't sink a lot and wrap around and take off all the sides. Now, there's a lot of flint around some of the places where there was a lot of Clovis reduction going on. Trying to raise that up a little bit. Why? So I can come back on that hump. So see, now I've got kind of a steep, it's almost a hammerstone type platform. Up high, and if I do it right, put the support right, I can remove some of this ridge. I was being careful with the support on that, because if I'd ended up holding two pieces of rock, it would have been embarrassing. Man, I love this rock. It's a shame this thing was so squirrely in shape. Don't really like the way that's shaped right in here. I got a little dimple in there that means I'm not gonna smoothly connect to that platform where I'd like to. Oh well. Hinge that one out. Push that one further down. You know, it'd be nice if I remembered where I got this rock. I have to send some picture of this material to some sources and say, hey, find me some of this that isn't weird shaped. Okay, I'm going to try not to touch my leg. Problem is the angle is just not right. Anyway. I see a little more pressure there and it wrapped up on some of that. Alrighty then. I can't really get on that and I need to come this way with that one. But I got problem area in here a little bit. A little junk in there. That's alright. Man, that looks like an overshot rollover. Now, this might be an intentional overshot. We're going to see. Is it? Okay. I don't like this though. Hang on. Okay, ready? All right. Cleared up that issue. Raise this up some more. I hit downward more on that. It was steeper, so I went up and hit downward more, but I held it on the other. So see the last three flakes terminated there, there, and there. It's not an accident. When you talk to people online, they insist on defining the terms of discussion sometimes. And you're like, well, you know, this might be another accidental overshot. Can you see that termination right there? The problem with, you know, people getting to define their own terms of discussion is they win before you start, because they're defined winning. The blade, a little more downward, a little more downward. Trying to get that kind of flat. Getting there. What to do, what to do. Man, we could hit in there, but that's all kind of beat up. Where are we going with this thing? I don't usually like hitting on cortex because it's less predictable. When you got a rock shape like this, you know you really sort of were just at risk through most of the initial reduction. Yeah, that's what I figured. You're just kind of at risk through most of your initial reduction because, now see, did that dive? No. It's still twisted though. This is annoying. I'm kind of in love with this material. I mean, I've seen it before. It's like a butterscotch amoeba, but the problem is it's probably going to be junky in the middle, and I don't have any way to not get to the middle. And you know, I can't favor one side of this when this rock has this shape. I just got to do what I got to do. But I need to lose some length because I'm not going to make a boomerang anyway. I don't know why I grab complicated rocks when I'm trying to talk too, but okay. So I'm going to try and sink it a little bit right here. But this is kind of a little sunken area in the first place, so it's sort of an issue, but we'll see. See, sunk it a little bit right there. but it made it ripple. But it's okay. I know that stuff is hard. I don't know why I'm hitting it to prove it to myself. Alright, folks. Getting a little more complicated. Push on that a little bit. See how it's thicker right where that problem was that I pushed? That's the thing you want to do, you know, if you want to smooth it. Like, see how nice that is? Okay, I need to do something about this boogered terminations on all those flakes. And I might be able to reach it by hitting slightly obliquely here with a little bit of sink on it. So we're just going to try that. I'm going to push a little bit in there. And I didn't hit quite hard enough. Right idea. And that's okay because we'll have another chance, but be right back.